And so the Tigers end 2024 with 3 points. Yes, a nice win away at Blackburn Rovers Ewood Park this afternoon, Sunday afternoon. It's still a big one for the Tigers as Ruben Sayers has his 5 games in charge of Hull City's first 5 games completed. And it's 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses and 1 draw, sorry. So 2 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw. Not too bad of a start considering players are out injured. He hasn't had his January transfer window yet. And 2024 has been a bit of an up and down year for the Tigers. So we finish it off with a nice 1-0 victory over Blackburn Rovers. A big goal from Ryan Longman, which I will cover in a minute. But fantastically done by City. Blackburn Rovers, they had the upper hand in the game. We won't beat around the bush. We were certainly probably the second best side up until the goal from Ryan Longman. We certainly were not taking our chances. We were putting in a very, very strong defensive performance to hold out Blackburn Rovers, and therefore meaning the 1-0 victory meant something rather than maybe a 1-1 draw or losing 2-1 on that Longman goal, meaning absolutely nothing other than a consolation prize for the fans in attendance. But it turned out to be a win. The defensive performance worked, and also resulting in a Longman goal where the attacking performance maybe lacked a little bit throughout the game, but that goal did finally come for the Tigers, and the team that just are looking that little bit better, aren't they? You saw them in their celebrations at the end of the game, all over to the fans. Longman was giving it one of them to the fans, trying to getting them up and everything. The team has got so much more confidence in them. They've got so much more trust and faith in each other. They're enjoying playing for the club and playing for the fans and playing under Ruben Sayers. That's what it's all about. That's what we were lacking under Volta, what we were lacking for the entirety of the season, pretty much. Players not knowing what they're doing, Volta having no plan or anything, but under Sayers, 5 games in now to the Sayers era, and things are looking fantastic. Remember, January transfer window does open just before the next game, of course, on New Year's Day at home, so certainly going to be a big, big month. Certainly a big couple of months as City will look to etch their way even further away from the relegation zone, as we are ending 2024 as well outside of the relegation zone. Maybe only by a point, but we are still out of the relegation zone, and that is something that we can take all the way to the bank. So let me go through the Hull City players, give you my honest reactions to their game today over at Ewood Park, and a little bit of a rating 1 through 10. Of course, 10 meaning that they're pretty much prime Messi, and we haven't quite got there yet. We haven't got to that deluded point of the season yet, but there is some very, very strong performances, especially through the defensive half. So we will start over there with Ivor Panda in net. Fantastic performance from Ivor Panda, a few crucial saves. Going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Matty Jacobs started at left back. No Giles on the bench in this one, presumably injured. I'm not fully accented on the current injury list. Of course, Hughes is on there for about 6 or 8 weeks, which is fantastic. But the defensive partnership of Jones and McLaughlin worked in this game. I'll come to that in a minute. But Matty Jacob, I will give him a strong 5.56 out of 10. Thought it was okay from what we saw from Mike Jacob. Was one of the early substitutes off in the second half where Louis Court came on to replace him at left back and Drama stayed at right back. We'll go to Drama now. Cody Drama. Strong performance from Cody Drama. Worked nicely up that right hand side. I really do like that partnership with him and Abu Kamara. I think that's probably the best partnership that we're going to get at the moment over on that right hand side. Kamara and Drama. I thought we had a very good game from Kamara, which we will come to in a minute, as I say. But Drama, very, very strong. 6.3. We're going for a 6.3 out of 10. Defensive partnership, Sean McLaughlin, we'll start off with him. Sean McLaughlin, very, very strong. Some good performance. I think maybe, don't test me on this, but possibly his best performance of the season so far. Of course, he will have that starting centre-back role, probably up until Hughes is back fit and ready to go in about 6 or 8 weeks, as I said. And if you told me this a couple of weeks ago, I maybe would have gone, ooh, McLaughlin for that length of time. But the performance today, again, very, very strong. So I'll give McLaughlin a nice 6.8 out of 10. Alfie Jones. Now, he was probably the main man why Blackburn were denied at least good 2 opportunities, putting his body on the line. So I will give him the Man of the Match award in a nice 8 out of 10 match rating. So fantastic from Alfie Jones. Ahead of that, Regan Slater. It's a bit of a testing season for Regan Slater. He hasn't had the best of time on the field. Wasn't too bad in this game. Did go a little bit missing at some points. You kind of forgot that it was on the field at certain points, which I think that's probably a testament to the system that he's currently in. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe it's not a good thing. I really need a little bit more time to examine the Regan Slater setup in this Ruben Sayers formation to attest to that. But Regan Slater for this game, I will give him a 5.8 out of 10 match rating. Gustavo Puerta. Now, Puerta was a bit hot and cold in this game. He had some really good moments and he had some moments that he probably wants to forget about in his nightmares. But Gustavo Puerta overall had a very, very good game. Or I won't say very, very good game, but maybe a very good game. So Gustavo Puerta, I will give him a nice 6 out of 10 match rating. Xavier Simons was the starting CDM. Simons, nice to see him back in the starting lineup, was one of the 4 changes to this starting lineup. I thought he didn't do too bad. Was one of the was eventually subbed off for Finley Burns later on in the game, which was nice to see Finley Burns back on the field for the Tigers. But Simmons, strong once again. I'll give him a 6.1 match rating. Up forwards, this where they were a little bit missing from the majority of the game. Mason Burstow, still heavily impressed by Mason Burstow and still making very good shout for why he should be starting all the games. Probably will be a Longman start considering he did get the goal today on New Year's Day. But Mason Burstow, very, very strong performance from him, all things considering where he is coming from, his poor time in senior football so far. But Mason Burstow is certainly having a good time at Hull City. And I will give him a nice, good 6 match rating. João Pedro. Now, João Pedro didn't have the best of games. He had a very, very good chance later on to assist Kamara getting his first goal for Hull City. Unfortunately, was just offside where I don't quite think he was. We'll wait and see what the reviews are on that one. But I don't think he was, or if it was, a very, very tight call. So João Pedro, I will give him a 5.5 match rating. And then the other man that was starting, Abu Kamara. Kamara, as I say, he worked nicely with drama down that right-hand side. I thought Kamara, probably not the best game we've seen from him, as we've seen a few better games, better performances from him in his short time at Hull City so far. But Kamara, I certainly think that this is probably one of his better performances, and I will therefore give it a 6 match rating. On to the 4 substitutes, so we didn't use all 5 substitutes either. So Louis Carroll, as I say, did come on and play at left back. Wasn't bad Louis Carroll, as we've seen in the past few matches, where really he has lost his position in that starting 11 for the time being. But it wasn't bad. Wasn't Louis Carroll's amazing whipping in crosses and doing all this sort of stuff that we've known Louis Carroll has done in maybe seasons prior. But Louis Carroll, okay, a 5.2 match rating. Ryan Longman, it's a bit inflated because of the goal, and he had maybe a chance to grab another goal later on in the game where the keeper made a fantastic drop-down save to block Longman with his tap-in effort. So we'll give Longman a 7.3 match rating. Finley Burns came on right at the end, didn't see too much of him, so I will give him a 5 match rating. And Stephen Alzate came on, was a bit solid in places, a little bit similar to Regan Slater. He was a little bit lost at moments, so we'll give him a 5.2 match rating. So that's my player match ratings. So you think overall, though, positive stuff from City. We'll certainly see where this leads to, obviously, with the January transfer window opening before we next play. I mean, it will just be open by a few hours, so I don't expect any big deals, or certainly if there is any deals, they won't be impacted in that game. But certainly January transfer window will be a big one for City. I'll have videos breaking down what we can expect from City coming up. Probably a video out tomorrow on what we can expect from City's transfer business this window, as maybe a few of the loan players are going back. Maybe a few players are leaving the club as a mini shape-up for the Ruben Sayers era, as we are 5 games in now. 5 positive games under Ruben Sayers, and Hull City finished 2024 outside of the relegation zone. That's the big factor. So I will see you in the video tomorrow where we talk through everything ready for the January transfer window. So you do not want to miss out on that one, plus plenty more Hull City news and content. So make sure that you like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I will see you over in the next video. Up the Tigers!